Hazel, the life promise. Stroking the soft beige fur of my beloved dog Hazel, as she lay cradled in my lap, I recall how she looked like a hazelnut when she was young. I chose that name, Hazel. As I peered into her dark, soulful eyes, I saw fear and pain. For the past 16 years, I had grown used to seeing the wag of her tail. My family had adopted her when I was 10, and Hazel soon became my best friend and trusted companion. It was distressing to see her little cockapoo body racked with pain. Every time she had a seizure, my heart and body contracted. I desperately wanted to do something, but what? I glanced out the window to a sky thick and dark with smoke. There was a foreboding feeling in the air. Wildfires were raging in Southern California, and the sight and smell were menacing. My intuition, however, led me to carry Hazel to the backyard and lay her gently on the cool, fresh grass, hoping that contact with the earth would revive her. But her convulsions only got worse. After scooping her up gently, I took her inside and laid her in her bed. I called the veterinarian, and he told me to bring Hazel in right away. I grabbed a soft towel and carried her quickly to the car, where I made a little nest for her in the passenger seat. The clock was ticking against us, and I wanted to get to the clinic quickly so she would have a better chance of surviving. On the way, she began to have spasms, and her legs extended outwards, rigid. I reached over while I was driving and placed my hand gently on her back to comfort her. She was listless and weak. Thinking she was dying, I immediately pulled over onto a tree-lined street with office buildings, a place that was deserted on this Saturday morning. I got out of the car and lifted Hazel lovingly to my heart, holding her close. Glancing around, I spotted a hollow in the earth shaped like a womb. It looked like a comforting place for her last breaths, so I laid her gently on the cool earth. I sat beside her and prayed for a peaceful passage. 2 white doves flew over her, hovering unusually close. I wondered if they had come to take her spirit away. She had yet another seizure, and after 5 terribly long minutes, I realized it wasn't Hazel's time yet. Feeling confused, I gathered her carefully in my arms and placed her back on the car seat. She was weak and exhausted, but was able to rest on the drive to the clinic. Relieved that she was still alive when we arrived, I carried her through the entrance to the clinic. The veterinarian emerged from an exam room and extended his arms as he approached us. As I handed Hazel over to him, I felt myself wanting to stay with her. Looking deeply into her eyes, I put my hand gently on her head. "I'll see you later, Hazel." In that moment, I chose to trust modern medicine and the veterinarian's ability to save her. "I'll call you after I examine her," the veterinarian told me. I left feeling confident that she had a chance to live. My drive home was filled with feelings of relief that Hazel was in competent hands. My parents were at work, and I decided to wait until I heard back from the veterinarian to call them. I paced around the house for half an hour, anxiously awaiting news. Unable to wait any longer, I finally called the clinic. The receptionist answered and put me on hold while she got the veterinarian. "Hello, Annelise," he said in a somber voice. "Hazel's seizures were caused by kidney failure. I'm very sorry to tell you that I had to put her down to relieve her of her misery." His words hit me like a hard punch in the gut. Why didn't he tell me that Hazel might not make it? I wouldn't have left her. He could have called me and told me before he put her to sleep. My heart sank and I began to cry. I felt I had let Hazel down by allowing her to die without the tender embrace and support of someone who loved her. I felt sad and guilty because my family hadn't had a chance to say goodbye either. In that moment, I promised myself that I would do all that I could to be present at the passage of a loved one.